episode 51. We're about to bring everybody on live. Here we go. Boom.
51.
You don't want to know what was going on earlier on this pre-show.
They keep letting us do this shit.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Us again.
Can't believe we've done 50. We did 50 episodes last. We're on 51. It's like we should start all over again. So, what did you just do? Oh yeah, we're doing the intense. So everyone, we have this new thing now where if it's a real dramatic moment, we're gonna
do ATV, except for I'm a bit high. I'll have to do this for it.
I stay normal.
Dramatic. And then we cut back again. Then
Okay.
we're talking about editing earlier, basically, and this has got this whole thing, so we won't spoil it for later, but it's all dramatic. So we're gonna try and capture the moments if we can, just for shits and giggles. So anyway, introductions. So if it's your first time to the Asylum, welcome. This is a weekly show we do every Monday.
Exit is over there.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm done. People are like, I am done. It's on my channel and Miserable G's channel. We started the show, a year ago. Now over a year and a bit now. I'd done a previous podcast before this one. Miserable kindly joined that one. We kind of ended up splitting up and doing our own thing, which is cool, as you do. We basically discuss things StarCitizen and other things. We have a YouTube channel as well, part of the Asylum. We now have a stream team. Bok joined us now, has become a full-time permanent member of the podcast team, which is fantastic. Toby Taj has joined us. We have Jolly. I have to get some links sorted out with all this, so let's just put a link in. We have Jester. We have CRP Jester. We have Jolly, who's awesome dude from Australia and also from America. Am I missing anybody? I think that's it, right?
Nope.
That's it for now.
It.
Yeah.
And we have Mac as well.
And Mac is unofficial. Super Mac Brothers Ryan is our kind of unofficial / official kind of, I don't know, member of the team now. So he's awesome. We do this show every week, and we catch up on all things StarCitizen, talk about all the news and gossip, and just highlight some key things that we find interesting every week. We talk with you guys. We pick up on what you guys talk about. You ask us questions as well through the week, through the shows, through YouTube, and all the stuff that we put out, and we try and answer them every week. And we have a good chat and have a good laugh about it. So, if your first time, welcome. Hit the sub button. Hit the sub button. Hit me some money. Hit the sub on YouTube and hit the follow button. I get confused because it's a sub on YouTube and it's follow on Twitch. It just irritates me because it's different, but it's sub on thingies for money. But anyway, whatever. Thank you so much for follows and hosts and everything. We'll get that up front. We don't do any of the alerts and everything are switched off, mainly because we don't want to disrupt the show with the audio, and also sometimes they could be registered copyright sound bites, and they could stop us. We'd have lots of blocks of audio.
Could be.
Most likely.
They are.
I think some of them are registered, so we have to be careful. So, but we appreciate it, and thank you so much for all of that. Right. That's the introductions.
During this content drought of StarCitizen, we do at least promise 10% StarCitizen content in this podcast.
I do a lot of researching. I pride myself on my ability to dig through the Reddit and the Spectrum and dig out interesting topics of conversation to produce at least 40% content on StarCitizen. 100% would be 50% is pretty challenging.
40% of zero is
accurate.
Zero.
But
it's a bit short. ATV was short, RTV was short. I am short.
Yeah. We like shorts.
Sorry, did you? What is short? Your height or a body part is short in particular? Is that what we were referring to?
Both.
Understand.
Yeah. So now that we know that, okay,
we can move on. We can all move on now.
Move on.
I mean, he's a goat. They're not known for being like the studs, are they?
No.
Okay, moving on. Before we tread into some dangerous waters, what have we been up to this week? What have you guys been up to within StarCitizen and within just generally your kind of, we just discussed how crappy ATV has been again in terms of content. It's not really crappy.
Not crappy. It was short.
It's just short. Yeah, I was going to say, to say it's crappy is wrong, because what they showed was actually quite good. It's just, we would like a bit more information, a bit more meat on the bone.
Accurate.
Yeah. But I know that we've all been playing Anthem. That's the reality of it. I don't even need to ask this question. We've all been playing Anthem, with Bok, and I'll be jumping in with Bok, I'll be jumping in with Miz, jumping in with all of these guys. And we've all been having a great time. They've all been living it up way more than me, because clearly they don't have kids. That's not the first thing I recognize.
I haven't.
You are level. What level are you, Miz?
20.
What power level?
180.
You see, I'm 160, and I think I'm 18 level.
We're not far off.
We're about the same. Bok, what power level are you?
It's not the kids. I can tell you now, firstly, it's not the kids. It's the wife.
I win.
That's why these guys haven't got the wives. It's not they haven't got the kids.
Exactly. No, I'm level 20 or 21. Power level 249.
Yeah, there's
silence.
2 what?
249.
So yeah, but your level, what did you say? Level
20 or 21.
20. Yeah, so we're all kind of, to be fair, and then our friends, I can't never pronounce his name. Alzaria.
Alcazar.
Thank you. That one. And then who was Starburger? Keel. These guys are all in Master Gear level stuff, so they're all epics and all the rest of it. They're all so they just get carrying us through all these these ridiculously hard missions and stuff. But it's cool. It's been good fun.
Play some Star Citizen though.
It's been good fun.
I
jumped on with Riththeus for a morning. I got in his. He didn't trust me flying for some reason, so I got in his Cutlass, and we were just about to do something, and this Terrapin decided to pick a fight with us outside Orlisar, so we took him down, and I got a turret kill. Yes,
cool.
That's cool.
Turrets. I hit a lot more on a turret than I used to, so they've definitely improved it. But I'd still say it's weird. Like it just jerks a lot. Like tried to do it with a joystick, and you don't get any smooth movements. So trying to turn on a pit on that is quite a pain.
I'm hoping it'll be better.
Why don't you switch to mouse for turret shooting?
I did a little bit, but I think the joystick actually is better.
Really?
Okay, interesting. I'm surprised. Gimbals tends to be better usually. Most people tend to stick with obviously, mouse as design. Most people are on the mouse on the gimbal stuff because you got better.
Maybe if I controls. I felt like I felt like the turret was jerking too much, but that could have been just like it wasn't moving smoothly. So if that was moving smoothly, then maybe it would have been a bit easier on the mouse. I don't know, but I'm getting used to using the joystick for playing in combat anyway. So I thought I'd try it on the turret, and I quite like using it on the turret. I hope they do fix it so that the controller will work nicely on the joystick.
It has been fixed 8 times now, so it's gonna be all good.
Yeah, I don't know how many times they've been doing the turrets, but they're kind of slowly edging their way over the line with that one. Very slowly, we made progress.
It's also been working 8 times, working as intended 8 times.
Yeah. But it raises the biggest kind of thing. One of the big things that everyone's talking about in terms of not everyone, but one of the big things to talk about is when the flight model comes in, and obviously the way things are changing and the way things are going with the gimbals and the auto aiming effect, not auto aim, but the assisted aiming with gimbals and stuff like that in terms of the way gimbals work. It's going to be interesting to see how much better playing with a mouse, are they going to make it that much easier for people to play with? Will gimbals become the thing, the meta again, or will it still be the fixed pilots, or will with slower moving ships that are stuck on rails with big engines on the back with less strafing and ability to move around? In my head, naturally, you would think gimbals will become so much easier because if a ship's slowly banking this way or slowly turning that way, and you're able to get you're able to get your repeaters on. Gimbals will become really powerful again because you'll just be just move a mouse over to that, which I, by the way, fucking hate that if that happens. okay, because it removes, in my head, a lot of skill, makes it very much for the newbie people, because it's like easy, point and click, rather than learning how to fly and maneuver your ship. But
yeah, I think that mouse and keyboard users will have an advantage, a big advantage.
Could do, yeah.
The best way to sort of see that experience now is to do Arena Commander like Vandal Swarm, because I feel like that although they do wiggle about a bit, that is kind of how they fly. Because like when I was in combat, I'm not using gimbal, but you can judge what they're doing a lot more because they do the slightly slower maneuvers and stuff, and like getting the one shots off is a lot easier. Than it would be if you try and fly against an actual pilot, I think.
Exactly. So that's kind of like, we won't know. It's just, we can speculate as much as we want. Obviously, David Coulson's chilling out and enjoying himself, his time in NASA at the moment, getting some ideas, which is good. He's actually looking at proper spaceships for a change rather than looking at aeroplanes. So I'm happy about this. I don't know if anyone saw his latest picture, but no, I think he's on.
Did you miss the time lapse of the BA flight then?
Yeah. So he's he's looking at NASA. So good luck. I'm excited about seeing what he produces, because I really liked his predecessor. So I'm hoping his is like the will be that much better. So I'm excited about it. It's coming soon. We have on the document, which I just realised that I have to go to get because I've forgotten to do it like a blurb. Hang on.
We have all these wonderful things to talk about this week, and we enjoy if you ask us questions. So if you do _! Question in chat, you can ask us a question on the forum, or you can indeed put the question in the chat, and we will try to answer it while we go.
Why don't we do ATV?
Yeah, why not?
Let's start off with the 5 minutes of ATV that we had. Let's do the ATV bit, do that segment, and then we'll roll into my fucking grumble, and then we can. It's not really a grumble, but just observation about something that I'm not happy about, my soapbox. And then if any of you guys have got soapboxy sections, we can roll those, and we'll just get through it. Cool.
I'm very positive this week, so
good. I'm not really negative about anything too much, to be honest, at the moment. It's just that there's not a huge amount of stuff to talk about, which is kind of sad, because there should be tons of stuff to talk about with the amount of stuff coming out.
Yeah, just what happens when there's a content drought, Burger?
Yep. Okay, so this
I'm just trying to trigger him. It's fine.
Is hilarious because my screen's gone weird. Hang on a second. Don't worry.
Should we draw a penis on it for you?
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Don't worry. There we go. Right.
There we go.
So this is the new collision kind of system that they had going. They showed off in ATV. Now I'm going to be honest about this. I have seen so many of these animation paths that they've shown us over from 3 years of seeing a guy walking on a line and moving around things. Like, I'm literally, it blows my mind that what the hell is taking so long. I even saw people's comments underneath. Some of the guys says, what the hell is taking them so long with this? If somebody does know, I don't know much. I've done a little bit of kind of path animation stuff. I've always found it to be fairly, it's the tools. Once you have to, I think in my head, I think that's what they're trying to show us here. Isn't necessarily the
tools.
Is the tool that's the animation, like the scripting or whatever it is that creates. I think the info.
Okay, so there is a little bit of a point on this, because I remember you said you were going to look back and dig and see if you can find the line thing, and I do remember there being a line thing, but if you actually go back and look at it, what the one before was more to do with the character animation. So what was happening was they drew a line as he walked around the ship, for example, and it would lean oddly, or it would walk in a funny angle to follow the path. So a lot of that old content was how that character actually followed the line, whether the animation was believable. Whereas this is showing us collision detection, which is still following a line, but it's slightly different. So this is linked more now to do with, like you just said, subsumption. It's not so much, oh, look at him, he's following a line. It's the coding and the process that they've got involved so that it can detect what's coming up ahead of it, and it can move out of the way. It can choose to take a long route round. It can choose to try and squeeze through a gap, that sort of thing. So it's more showing you that kind of technology rather than oh, look, it can follow a line. It's got nothing to do with the fact that it's following a line.
But here's my thing is like, has anyone played Assassin's Creed? You never played Assassin's Creed? Okay, so for anyone that's played Assassin's Creed, they did this wonderful ability to move NPCs out of the way, and they would have the and that was through you. You're the player, and your character literally would physically move, like your hand would move through, and it would push the NPCs out of the way. It was tremendous, like absolutely tremendous. The way I watched it. Where now I don't think they did. I don't know if the NPCs actually did it, but for you to be able to do that and move through was pretty cool. So when I saw them do it with the NPC, like here you see he kind of moves his hand there, like he just kind of he bounces and then does this natural kind of movement as if that was dope. Like that was really, really cool. Like I was very impressed with that.
See, that's the difference in Assassin's Creed. They don't do that. I don't think the NPCs do it at all.
Think so.
You're pushing, so you're physically moving away, and even in Anthem, it does it slightly. If you walk through the marketplace, they'll part out of the way.
Yeah.
Whereas this, like if you imagine in Assassin's Creed, if every NPC did that, you'd go to a town and you'd see Lorville full of everybody just thrusting everybody out the way. Get the fuck out of my way. All the NPCs would be pushing everybody, which you can't do that. You've got to have them doing this avoidance. They can't all be the player. They can't all push everybody out of the way.
Push out of the way. Big fight going on.
But I mean, what that does show you is it looks a lot more natural. Like you said, someone doing that, it's not just squeezing through the gap. He's actually putting his hand up as if to go, well, in case that person's going to lean on them or something, which is, I think, is pretty cool.
Very cool. It's like I said. I mean, I'm bored of seeing it. If I'm honest, I just want to get it in game. But at the end of the day, that's just being bored. The truth is, it's getting made really, really well, and it's going to look.
I think an element of this is like we're seeing it because I don't know if they're just running out of shit to show us, but like this sort of thing isn't necessarily, or they obviously don't feel it's important to put in the game at this time for us to like test it. So they're just going to keep polishing it until they feel it's ready, and then I suppose they'll implement it. And
I agree.
I don't know. I think that's why we're not seeing it, because it's probably just more stuff that could potentially go wrong on the PU, rather than just getting it to work in the first place.
And this was kind of cool when they showed the guy moving around the players for like the guns and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. So
I think he's focusing on the blue dot, isn't it? So it's showing you how it can have a focus point and move around at the same time, so it can still avoid people while it's focusing on something else.
Which is, you naturally, again, it's believable because it's within his, like if the parameters are within a certain radius of it meant to be like our peripheral vision, you would naturally, if you're focused, you would see in the corner, so you would know. What would be really cool is if they actually show the head tilting down, like as if you're human, like a human would naturally, if you see something slightly down there and it's just slightly out, you naturally kind of the eyes move and the head would just slightly tilt down. I wonder if they'll do that type of subtleties as well. But I was watching it and I was like, yeah, that's really, really cool.
That NPC is walking better than me and seeing better than me.
Yeah, why not? They should do, really. It's AI.
Yeah.
It's
but I agree with Starburger. This is definitely Steve Spender stuff.
He
walks and
suddenly the next thing he's going to grab someone and just choke him out and then stab him out.
It's a Bender signature.
Which is very, 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 very cool. So, yeah, I was impressed with that. And then we had the penis geezers.
Pardon?
Mm-hmm. Well, they literally look like ejaculation. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but and then the little white stuff.
It was more like
someone's gonna put. I'm surprised no one's put on Reddit a penis down here and kind of had it. Oh, 3.5's out. New Star concept ship.
That sounds like that did on top.
So when it's in too long, then you get this.
I can't unsee that now. That's a penis, man.
It's because you said it, but I didn't.
I think you need to make that into a GIF, and then every time a new ship concept's out, you just post the ship and then that in front of it going, new ship.
Honestly, I'm telling you, boys and girls, it's there. It's even got the little white speckles. It's but again,
the white snow that falls down afterwards.
I'm just gonna say, my first impression of the first bit was okay. I was like, oh yeah, it looks quite good. But the little confetti at the end seems terrible to me. I don't know about anybody else.
No, it should
the white shower
wider, and it should be more.
I was like, more. What? But it's work in progress.
They need to do more research.
Didn't look good. And I think there's another.
They should travel to Finland and throw a bucket of water up in the air and see what happens.
And again, like they showed this, these look real. I mean, they look nice with the turbulence, and I mean, looks a bit weird here, but the longer one,
smoking chimney,
smoking. From when I did
Smoking's
visual
got
effects, one of the things I'll always remember one of the teachers saying is some of the hardest things to do in visual effects and film is fire, and and doing smoke and kind of this type of animation effectively and making it look realistic is actually really, really difficult. Fire is exceptionally hard. Waters actually can be really tricky as well. All these kind of fluid stuff is really tricky. So this
already looks better than the wind that is blowing over grass and against trees. They're all the same. Like While in real life, that's not the case.
It's definitely better. I mean, we've seen it though. Like this is the ATV. I was like, okay, but we've seen like when you go to Levski, you see the flame things firing out smoke at the top of them.
I mean, that's realistically, that's all that almost feels like. It's just smoke, but in a different environment. I know, and added a couple of snow particles to it, but I don't know. It obviously it's all needed, and it's all going together to make what we want. It's just not that exciting. Well, unless it's the heated geyser, and then it's very excited.
And then
we should have not instead of drawing a penis on it, maybe just sit a character on top of it instead.
They can have little Ben's dancing next
with the face where tech just go.
Oh my god, I could just think of so many things if I had the time and I was bored. I could do so many things with that.
Can I leave already? This is getting out of hand.
It's getting out of... Where was it? There was something... What did I do with it? Oh, I'm going crazy. Hang on. Right.
Silence.
Sorry, no.
If you have any questions for us, let us know.
What did I do with it? I dropped it. It was in the...
He dropped it.
So while he's looking, we have a question from Mr. Highfire, and he says, when do you think SC will use Vulkan API, and if so, I will switch to Linux? What?
I don't know. Maybe they're running a separate build beside this
It's coming soonish, isn't it? I thought
Did they say they were going to do it?
I thought they were bringing Vulkan in.
Vulkan is going to be a thing, definitely. Yeah.
They've said it. When do I think it'll be in? Oh, dude, like, you haven't even got Squadron 42 in yet. So, would you think it'll be soon? I'm like, they got so many other game mechanics in. Like, I would put the game, wouldn't you want to put I don't know exactly what the benefits of it are versus why you'd want to put it. Is this sort of thing you'd put in early, or would you put it in at the end? I don't know enough about game development to know. I wouldn't want to put it in too early if it's something you'd normally put in at the end, because they've still got all the game mechanics. They've got farming, they've got bound, they've got so many different things to put in. But then maybe you do? Like, someone help me in chat, or you guys? I
would have thought it was less likely to be a priority for them to do it, to be honest.
Okay. But I would guess that's not a priority at this moment, but before Squadron 42 comes out. So they still have time. but maybe they're running a separate build or whatever beside the current build. I don't know, but we only can guess.
We'll see. We shall see. Oh, look at Sean Noonan.
With all the rest.
Sean? Ex-CIG FPS. I think they're looking for a replacement for you. Job, dude. They obviously haven't been able to find anyone to do the FPS layout or whatever. They're looking for another one of you. But anyway, I hope you're good, dude. I hope you're good. So, moving on to the last part of ATV, the amazing ATV, they showed us the thruster effects, which obviously had improved from the last time we saw them. I was like, so it's like, And then it's got a slider, so it just shows you the damage state slider in the corner. Now everyone loves their sliders, it seems, in the StarCitizen community, because everyone wants to kind of put sliders on everything. I was reading someone on Spectrum saying they wanted to put a slider on the ships, like the complexity of the ships and stuff. I was like, oh my god, so like 100% the ships, are really, no assists, are all assisted. Everything's like kind of everything works really easy, and then you slide it all the way down to 0, and there's nothing working on it, type of thing. I was like, oh my god, seriously, somebody shoot me now.
With this clip, I rather would have seen that they had combined this with the audio tech guys.
Oh yeah?
Like, we had the audio tech, when was it, 2 weeks ago?
Oh yeah.
They could have put this together beautifully with the visuals and the audio, so that you could actually hear what is being damaged, how far your thrusters all fucked up.
Yeah, I agree. That would have been cool. That would have been really cool.
Missed chance.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. My only issue with this is, and this is like with this whole kind of damage state thing that they want to bring in and misfiring and all this stuff, is like what are they going to, like, what's going to determine where the slider effectively is? Like, for example, like if you got a Drake Buccaneer, for example, on brand new, will misfires happen after, if you're a Drake, after 50%? When that bar gets down to say 50%, that's when misfiring will happen? Or will misfiring happen randomly as an algorithm throughout all of the stages? Or will misfiring be, like, say for example you got an Origin ship, your misfiring is not going to happen because your components are really good, it won't happen on the 25%. You know what I mean? Like down here. Or, will it be a random algorithm? I don't want it to be random. I think it should be based on the gear.
I think if it wears down further down the line, then it would be misfiring more. But I don't expect it to misfire with a new ship.
That's what I don't think
and
so.
And I also would like to know if you can read the status of the particular damage state of that component.
No. I don't know. Because otherwise, if you have misfiring, you have this in game. Could you imagine playing games like that? Oh, I'm going to ball. It doesn't work. This is like basically the equivalent of StarCitizen's misfire in another game.
That happened to me in real life. Don't laugh.
Yeah,
like it happens. That's realistic.
Yeah. This is realistic.
Yeah, I think in terms of like ship, even if you're getting Drake and stuff, I think you're still going to get it. It's more of a damage state rather than quality state. Because what you're talking about, like Drake using like a less quality part or something like that, then that I think it's more to do with the damage side of it rather than the quality of the components.
I couldn't get the clip, but when they first were talking about this, I think it was on a captain's table or one of the, not captain's table, but one of those round table things that they do. I think they mentioned that, they were just talking about randomly your ships just suddenly,
the misfire. But I thought you were on about the engine trowel thing. I said it's not going to look damaged when it's a brand new one, even if it's straight, whatever, because it's it's to do with damage states. But yeah, the misfire thing. Yeah, they said that. Whether that would stay, though, I mean, it was meant to be. There's a small chance, even with a brand new one, it might be dodgy. It's like, well, nobody wants that. If
it's gonna misfire with a new one, I'm gonna return it.
Well, that's what I mean. No one wants that. It's like saying, "Oh, it's realistic." It might be, but when people get it in real life, they're extremely pissed off.
Yeah.
If I buy a brand new car, and the next day after they've delivered it, it doesn't start because the engine does, or you just have a dodgy one, mate. Oh well, fucking thanks.
Yeah, yours was built on Friday. Yours was a Friday build spaceship, unfortunately. Sorry about that, pal. The guys decided to get off work early. But what you're saying about the smoke effects and the stuff to do with the ships, I would like the idea that, for example, like how cool would it be? And again, this is me thinking of a Freelancer, when you have the you can make the smoke, like when the Reapers come in, the ships, big plumes of smoke are coming out the back because that's just the way that they roll. They're not maybe carrying so much, and the ships are kind of a bit more dangerous. So you can kind of you could adjust the amount of crap effectively that kind of comes out the back of the ship, so you could have it really, Origin ships would naturally be running beautifully and it'd be all like almost like organic, it's like really good carburetors on there and everything's really efficient. But Drake would be plumes, it would be a lot more smoky, industrialized. And I hope that's what they go for as well. I hope we get more of that variety visually between between the engines even more so, which I think they will do. I get the impression that's probably where they're headed.
I'm not sure. It would be cool, but I'm not sure.
The problem is if you have too much variation, though, you get like the issue of like knowing whether it's damaged or whether it's just a different manufacturer or something.
Yeah, I mean the damage is cool, but I just love the idea that like Vandal ships. I mean, I'm sure we're going to see it. They're going to have different effects on their engines and.
I think the aliens are using. I mean, we got converted parts, haven't we? But I think they will have, just because it's their technology, is going to look differently. Yeah. Whether they're still going to have the same sort of, I don't know, the damage effect. Yeah, probably. Yeah. We should get the Banu one. Will we have different components and effects on that as well? Because that's the Banu Defender next. It'd be interesting to see what sort of changes they do with that. Stop doing the misfiring thing.
Yeah, like this, right? Okay, here you go. Sorry, just an example, because I was just kind of like, for not everyone maybe has ever seen Firefly. It's unlikely that no one has, but so this is a scene in Firefly when I think they're coming in and they get chased by it, and there it comes in, boom, with like all this smoke, crazy ass smoke coming in behind it.
It's a little bit more than just a splutter, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of this menacing quality about it as it's coming in behind it. Like,
is that just to do with engine size?
Cutlass
or do you think it's just
Cutlass
beautiful
engines.
effects. Wow.
Can't wait till the Cutlass can do that.
Ooh, burned up.
Or the Freelancer can do that.
Do you think they maybe played on the Firefly fans when they saw that ship? I think they did. That's for sure.
I think that's what the initial, because even the Cutlass adverts like that, but it's like then they try to actually put it into game. It's like, this doesn't work. We'll just glue them.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. Something from film that doesn't work actually in real life or kind of in a game scenario. Yeah, maybe some more lessons to be learnt there, CRG. Stop looking at Star Wars all the time. Flight model people. Stop it. Cinematics. I want to play a game. I don't want to be just playing a movie or just visually playing a movie. We have... That's it. That was ATV. That was it.
Yep.
All right. I mean, we stretched it out. We stretched it out quite a lot. I mean...
Yeah.
We finished ATV actually 10 minutes ago. We just kept going.
Fuck. It was like, okay.
We did have a good 5 minutes of them repeating what it showed us in the video and saying how great it was.
Okay, right. This comes onto my soapbox moment. Okay, so this is my soapbox thing, and it's to do with subscription and what your subscription ultimately pays for, and how much money we ultimately contribute through. So if you're a subscriber, what you get for your money, what the content we were getting previously, we've already spoken about, but I don't want to kind of go into that too much, because at the end of the day, my bug with CIG, like I said before, is the fact that they mentioned after they did the burn down, they would bring the content back. They haven't. If they want to do short-ass 12-minute ATVs, okay. At the end of the day, but just tell us that's what you're going to do permanently. Your ATVs now are going to be 10 minutes, 12 minutes long permanently. We're going to have, just tell us that. Don't fucking, and do every month, do one special for me where you do a longer deep dive on maybe all the content that you've done previously. Maybe we'll pick a couple of things and do a deeper dive on it. I would be cool with that, but at least inform us a bit more clearly. And the reason, and I was looking into the whole subscription thing, and kind of like my frustration with it is there's another thing which I got really angry about when I saw this, because I got into the subscription thing because I was going to talk about that for this, and then when I went into it, and I'm going to bring it up here. So firstly, let's just talk about the subscription model at the moment. Okay, so we've got it here. So this is your subscription model. We have the Centurion, which will cost you, I mean, I pay tax, okay, might be slightly different for people in different countries. I pay 20% tax. Digital assets, so it's $12. I think in America it's probably like $10 or whatever. Imperator is $24. Blah blah blah. So for within these two categories, you get access to a digital book. I believe this isn't a printout, a hardcore book. This is a digital book. You get first wave PTU access for both of them. That's pretty cool. You get a ship of the month to fly. That's nice. Both people get a ship to fly. You get a flare. Okay, that's fine. Digital assets, whatever. You get some wreck. Cool. Yay. Now this, I got down to this, and this fucking irritated the shit out of me. Okay.
This is when his stream hit the fan.
Yeah. Like this was new. I have never seen this before. Now, please, somebody correct me if this is new or old. But this was new to me.
Do you have that clip that you was playing today?
Which one? Oh, fuck this game!
Fuck this game!
Give me a rewind. Yeah, please don't.
You should have had that clip. You should have had that clip perfectly for that. So this is what I thought when I saw this.
It would actually.
There you go.
That would. It's old. I think. I don't think this is old though.
Yeah, I think it's there for a while now.
But how long?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are we talking old? Like in a couple, like. Couple months? 2 years? It is old.
1.5, 2.
Okay, well then that actually makes it even more an interesting topic of conversation, because as an Imperator level subscriber, you get 1 week to test fly newly flight-ready ships and variants with our live quarterly releases. Now, I don't know about anybody else here, but I wasn't an Imperator test level back in 2000 when I would pay for the monthly thing. And I would get access to all the new ships. They gave all the PTU waves, like early on, weeks, or at least 2 weeks worth of like all the new ships. I remember very clearly flying Reclaimers and flying anything that was new. Like they gave us access to fly all these ships at the basic level. And this is why when I saw this, I was like, this felt like it was changed, because this has now become just for the top level people. So for me, have they tightened up on the rules on this, or have they just gone back to it, or have they just changed their mind? But whatever the case is, I hate it, basically, is what I'm saying. Is I don't understand why they would, this is awful.
To be fair, though, I really don't understand why it's restricted to even the sub. Like, it's a new ship. Why not just let everybody try it for a week? Then maybe let subs have it for longer. But, like, what's the harm in letting someone try a ship? And like, surely if you're trying to sell it, it's like if you want to go and buy a new car, you can go and test drive it. So by doing that, they're probably going to sell more if they let someone fly the new ship than if they don't.
Okay, this can't be that old though, because it says with our live quarterly releases, so that has to be within only a year. So when I'm thinking of because obviously I'm a bit older than when the quarterly releases, so this must have come out with the quarterly releases. I don't think this is as old as people think it is. Okay, it says live quarterly releases. So unless they've changed something, that pisses me off, because I used to tell people, if you haven't got a lot of money and you're a person, you can get into the PTU for $10 and you can fly all the cool new ships for a week or two and really enjoy StarCitizen and really play, try out some of the ships that you couldn't get before, that you were thinking about maybe buying at the end of the year in the anniversary sale, because you could try it out beforehand. Now you have to pay, based on this, $24 to gain access to that, and you'd only get 1 week to fly the ships. That's not cool. I'm sorry. That is not cool. That is not cool. So yeah, I really don't like that. And like I said, I don't think that's, people say it's old. I don't think it's as old as, yes, it's old by a year, but it's not old by my I'm older than that. I'm older than that. So I'm not happy about that. So the whole subscription kind of, and then they have the subscribers den, early access to purchase tickets, okay, exclusive events, okay. How many events have there been that are exclusive? Someone tell me.
A few. But the thing is, even the exclusive ones, I think they still have to fight for a ticket, which is that's a ridiculous thing. So I think if there's like a concierge event, I think there's still only like 130 tickets or something. Okay, so you're not guaranteed yet.
What kind of events were there then? Wasn't there like a dinner with
meetups? Yeah, well, I don't know about the dinner one, but yeah.
Yeah, well, this is it, exactly. That's exactly my point, Fenrir. You could take that $20 and just buy straight up UEC and have a shit ton of money in the game, for sure, definitely. And then we have the Vault, and then Town Hall. Subscribers can submit questions for our developers. Like, I'm not being funny, but the questions are trash anyway. So half of the time, so that's not necessarily, okay. Merchandise discounts. Well, everyone knows that the postage and packaging costs on this discount means that this is a waste of time. Discounted annual passes, and then we get coupons. You get 20% coupons, but this is up to a certain amount, I believe. So after $300 or whatever, you can't get any more than a certain something or other. Someone said to me, I don't know exactly on this one. It's capped. There you go. Discount cap is $50, and discount cap is $100. When you've got packages in the thousands.
Yeah, you can only say £50.
So, I just like I say, when I was talking to because basically what got me here to just to look at it again was the ATV, and because the ATV content, as we've discussed, is pretty small.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is the subscription. Don't distract me, sweetheart. My wife is talking in the background. She fucking thinks She's saying it's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam.
It's a scam.
It's very. Look. She's saying, how can you cap? She's saying, how can you cap discounts? It's because it's StarCitizen. They cap discounts. I know. It's just ridiculous, love. I know.
StarCitizen, baby.
It's StarCitizen. That's how they could cap discounts.
The greatest space game in the world.
It's going to be the greatest game in the world. It's going to be dead by the time it comes out. Probably, this is a high chance.
Yeah, but think of what your sons will inherit.
Yeah, exactly. I think my kids will inherit if I remember to give them the password.
You finance that.
Yeah, they'll have an inheritance tax on the game. You'll have to pay $100 to put another character.
Yeah, StarCitizen inheritance tax. We can give it to your children, but they will have to pay an inheritance tax. And all your ships will be in lockup until they've paid it.
No, Square Peg. We haven't talked about that yet. We will talk about it later. I have got to read up on it more. We'll get into it. I wanted to do it this week, but I watched the video. It was very, very cool. We'll get into it next week. I want to do a special. I'm trying to, because content is so slacking from StarCitizen, I have to spread things out a little bit more than I normally would. So that one will be coming, but it's not this week. But it was really cool, and I really enjoyed watching the videos. So so I just feel that for them. And then we're talking about money, okay? So yeah, this is fucking bullshit. That's me writing my personal opinions very strongly. So this is how much does Netflix cost? Because the idea is from what I understand, and Toby gave me this information. He said, "Hang on, let me just get this so that I get
Toby
this right."
should know. Oh no, he doesn't know. Okay, never mind.
So
no comment.
Okay, you fly with Netflix?
We had it in our podcast discussion, so I'm just trying to get this right.
How's the flight model of Netflix? I'm curious.
But you can fly without a subscription in StarCitizen, so it doesn't count.
So RSI offers paid subscriptions for additional RSI services, such as access to additional development information and materials. This section describes the rules applying to these paid subscription services. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wow, Myra's on Twitch front page. Yay, good for him. This section is... But I mean that seriously, good for Myra. That's awesome. RSI offers paid subscriptions for... This is why I find it hard sometimes with the wording that CIG uses, so just bear with me. RSI offers paid subscriptions for additional RSI services, such as access to additional development information, material. So I'm guessing that basically states ATVs, RTVs, that. So your paid subscription ultimately pays for that. Am I right? That's correct? Roughly?
Yep.
Yeah? Yep. Okay.
Unless they've said something recently, which they haven't. It's always been that the sub money goes to community content. I think that's what they called it. So it's anything to do with community involvement.
And your content that you're getting for this money costs you $12 and $24. $24 in order to gain access to those new ships for a week to be able to fly 4 times a year. Okay? Just kind of throwing, 20. That's every month, effectively, or unless you do
4 times a year. It's every time they bring a new ship out. Sometimes they've done it between patches, haven't they? Well, it's a new ship, so if they bring out a new ship...
That was the old thing. Now they don't really do that, though. They do it on the quarterly patches, so it's 4 times. Effectively, it would be 4 times, unless I'm wrong. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. But I think it's now just 4 times a year, 4 quarters.
Didn't we get... I don't know.
Like back in the day before we didn't know when things were going to drop.
Ships dropping out the sky all the time, so...
Yeah. So it would be you'd get access, and then you'd pay the $24 either for 1 month, or if you, I think you can buy Imperator level for 1 month, right? You can pay the $24 for 1 month, I believe, and get that way if you wanted to. So okay, fine. Anyway, okay. So if you go to Netflix, so a Netflix account, I know it's slightly different, but we're talking about content in terms of video content, and just by a comparison, the cheapest Netflix membership subscriber. £7, or whatever it is, for viewers can watch HD. So if you want to take the content up to a higher level, £8, and then £10 for Ultra HD. So that would be the equivalent of an Imperial, which is already nearly half the price of that, and you get all of obviously access to Netflix. I know it's a slightly different medium, but hear me out. So we go to the top 7 game submodels for money. Okay, so top game services. So One Play. Oh God, fuck off with your... No, go away with all your advert shit. The price is pretty good at $10 for One Play. PlayStation now is actually really expensive. PlayStation, for all of the stuff that it has, has become ultra expensive. So you can do a bank balance. I think it's like $20. And then you can do a 3-month long package for $44. But it's still cheaper than StarCitizen for a PlayStation 1. Xbox One is $10. And then GameFly, you're looking at $10. EA, interestingly enough, we'll talk about EA and the devil. They're the cheapest at $10, and they will do. You can do it a year's investment of $30, which gives you a 10% discount for Origin as well.
I just did a thing where it's like you did 80 quid for the year, you get access to like practically every single freaking game.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, so
that's what I did to play Anthem. It's like nice.
I think for £10 a month you should have access to all the spaceships. It's the way I look at it. I honestly do. I think if they or maybe or half the spaceships, and for $24 you can have access to all of the spaceships. Every time there's a quarterly patch,
the thing is,
you get access to the new ships.
Get it.
100%. I don't get it.
This happens a lot of games, and I think the free-to-play model, which we won't go in too much because I saw like you and Paul were kind of semi-discussing it on Twitter and saying how successful they are. But like, you would think that realistically, by these free-to-play models will show you that selling things cheaply is a much better way of doing it. It's because you get more of it. So if they sold like the subscription cheap, and you said that you had access to all the ships that way, they would probably sell it. They would probably sell loads of subscriptions because people can fly the ships, than to put it on a higher price and only give you a week restriction. People go, well, it's not worth it. Like you get more, and it's not costing them anything to give you that access to that ship. It's just, I just think everything seems to be like a higher price for less. And I think if you actually sold things for cheap, and it's been proven time and time again with the skins in these games, and like you said, like your argument with Paul is like with these free-to-plays, the stuff is so cheap but so addictive that it's easy to just think, oh, I'll just spend £1 or just spend £2. It's nothing, and you end up before you know it, you've spent a hell of a lot more on skins and colours and armour and shit like that than you ever would have done.
Yeah. You can't buy food anymore.
That was like, we had an interesting, like, Paul's all for, basically for anyone who wasn't, Paul was talking about it on his Twitter thing. It was really interesting. I understand and I see the benefits of free to play, but at the same time I also see the incredible dark side, like an iceberg underneath the surface of free to play kind of content, simply because I was one of those people. I got a game, Kingdoms something or other, on my phone. I can't remember what it was now, ages ago. And I've ended up running up 600 quid, I think it was, or something like that, ridiculous, over a year or something on it. And that's just a little phone game with tiny little squares, and it was buying jewels and stuff, so you could keep up with the kind of thing. And then I was like, my mate, he spent 2,000. I had money to burn. I had money to burn. No kids. I was just like, I didn't have money to burn, but yeah, I had money to burn at the time. And so, yeah, it wasn't really a big thing. And like you said, it was small amounts of money, and it didn't really seem like too much. But before you know it, it was £15. It was like, rather than it just being £5, it was like, that's not enough. I need to spend another 10. Then it was 15, and it became literally like, it was an addiction. I have an addictive personality generally, so it became an addiction and a drug, and it was hitting you with that dopamine, bang, bang, bang. And so for me, yeah, I see the dangers of it. I think CRG do a pretty good job of similar type of thing. If I'm honest, with sales and all sorts of other things. That's business. I hate to say it, but that's just business. But yeah, I just think, I don't know where I'm going with this conversation now, but that's what I was thinking. It's like, just bringing back bad memories about spending too much money on mobile phone games. That's what it's doing for me right now.
I think it basically goes back to the point that if you hide it within a small purchase, it means that people are more likely are willing to pay for that, and it's just the way it is. It's the same as like the free to play games in terms of by not charging you to enter the game. It's like, why wouldn't you download it? Oh, everybody's talking, like we've seen it time and time again recently with streamers streaming the flavor of the month game or whatever comes. They stream it for 2 weeks and then they're gone. Yeah. But on those 2 weeks, everybody watches the streams and like, oh my God, I've got to get it. I've got to get this game. And then they're playing it. And so with a free-to-play model, it's like, well, why the fuck wouldn't I get it? And then all those people are going, oh, I wouldn't mind trying it, but it costs money. They're going, oh, free-to-play, yeah, okay, download that. Give it a try. And you end up selling more because those people then get hooked and addicted and then they end up buying stuff.
Yeah. Well, again, like I said, that's for me. I just think that the subscription model is, I think it's overpriced for what you get. I think we're not getting the true value of how much money, and again, it comes back to that whole, is the subscription model generating enough money, for them to be able to do the content? If that's not generating enough money for them to do the content, then be honest and tell us. If they are making more than enough money to do content and they're not doing the content, then clearly they maybe need to hire people to do the content, or maybe they need to figure out what type of content they're going to do.
How much of that money is going into CitizenCon preparation and stuff?
Well, that's it. Exactly. That's brilliant, book. That's exactly that. Why not tell us that? Just say, hey guys, we're going to use this money. This money is now used for events, and we have to use a huge chunk of it's going to have to pay the whatever million for the two parties that we're going to have, CitizenCon and Squadron 42 release or whatever. But they just got 50 billion, got 50 million from their investors for marketing. Wouldn't that account for some of the Squadron 42, the release party and stuff? Or am I going crazy?
I don't know how much subscribers there are. But I would have guessed that will be more than enough to finance the weekly shows, and the rest is just spare money for like I said, CitizenCon, that sort of stuff. I can't imagine how much it will cost to record these shows. The professional cameras they are using.
We could do.
They are using that.
We could do numbers on this. Pretty simple. Let's just say there's 2 million subscribers. There's 2 million people that back the game. Obviously, not all of them are going to be subscribers. Okay.
No, nowhere
near. Say a quarter of subscribers. What's that? 250,000.
Yeah.
We could go less. 100,000 if you want.
It's a big 100,000.
All right. So say you had 100,000 times 10, because we won't say they're not all going to do the 25. So you just do the average packet of 10. Someone help me with the math here. 100,000 times 10. Was that £1 million a month?
Oh, I'm not counting. I thought you were grabbing your calculator.
I'm trying to. Someone, I don't want to fuck this up on the math, okay? There's probably much cleverer people with maths on me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. £1 million. £1 million a month. That's if they're only getting 100,000, getting 100,000 people subbing. The 10 is the lowest sub anyway. £1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think I wasn't sure. I just wanted to make sure it was a million. I know it's easy 10, 1, but that's, let's just say, like, even if you to bring it down, let's just bring it down to 50,000. Just bring it down to 50,000. It's still it's still £500,000 a month. Or $500,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's just using it at the basic 10. You could go down to 25,000. 25,000. I'm not being funny, but like to organize the CitizenCon event, they were talking about what, $1 million?
Something. Yeah. That was that with the professional recording crew.
Yeah, for the professional recording, it was like 1.2, 1.5 million or something. That's 2 months.
Be peanuts then.
Yeah. But we don't know the numbers because they obviously don't share the numbers. We could be way off. They could only have they could have like 4,000 subscribers for all. But I don't think that's the case. If you think of look at streamers. Think how many streamers. Think of like the way to look at it is I would look at how many people play the game. If we could see access to how many people play the game live every day, you could kind of work out like how many streamers. Like, because if you think of like a Dr. Disrespect, for example, or a Ninja, he's got like say 60,000 people watch him every single day. And say what percentage of that are subscribers and how many subscribers. I mean, he's making, I don't know, $1 million or something a month, or not, or like 100, a huge chunk of money a month, which wouldn't be unrealistic to think StarCitizen's doing the same. So they make money. They're making serious bank, I'm sure, on their subscription model.
Yeah. They save a lot. Yeah, all the equipment they're using in their studios, that's all been paid off. Well, if it's costing $1 million to do a CitizenCon with the professional film crew, that's like 3 months.
They can play me $1 million, I'll find them a professional film crew.
JR, what's up, JR? JR's he's like, model ships are expensive. Big model ships are expensive. Yes, they probably. Well, you want to you start asking them for more money, big JR. That's what you need to start doing.
How big? Are you talking about Kraken size? Just people are paying.
They're holding
10
out.
grand for a pixel.
Sort them out. That's what I say. Send over some bouncers to the CRG's office. Gonna be like, hey, give me my money. Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the fucking money? Where's the money, Roberts? Give me my money. So, I said,
the dragonfly that they built cost $1 million alone. That yellow dragonfly, it was on Reddit, so it must be true.
It must be true. Yeah.
Well, they are metal, right?
Millionaires. They're billionaires. It's about as true as the person that said it was. I can't remember what they said it was now. Whether they said it wasn't.
I'm an engineer.
And they kept insisted that it wasn't wood. Even when they took it apart and showed them the wood inside.
No. I'm an engineer. It's metal.
We try, Rec. If you've got a question, by the way, Rec Knight, if you want to talk to us directly, feel free, exclamation question. Or, if you want anything, if you've got a burning thing you want to talk about, we do try and pick up on things.
We do check Rec Knight, but it's we go through questions and then answer and have a discussion about a topic. So it's like as we go. But to answer your question about whether it's fun, it can be fun. If you're a completely new player, there's a fair amount to do. But as someone answered you in chat, it is still alpha and it is still testing. We get quarterly-ish patches which add more content for you to do. So it's getting bigger and bigger each time. But yeah, once you've done everything, it's like anything else. It will be boring-ish.
Repetitive.
Depends what you want to do. And if you hang out with a lot of people, if you have a good org, for example, they do active gameplay and they do, work things together and play a lot together. Maybe not, you do between mix of combat and kind of role-play stuff. I think you could have a lot of fun for a very long time in Star Citizen. Even with the combat, I've had years of fun. I mean, still playing it. I still find the addiction to play Star Citizen is a massive lure to me. I love the game. I think the development of the game. And here's an example. Hang on, where did I have it here? And I will, because we're talking about this, and we have I actually have a section kind of blast from the past for when these downtimes kind of happen. And so let me kind of
and don't forget, like when say you see streamers of people saying that they're bored of it. I mean, you got to imagine that some of these streamers and some of us playing it like day in, day out for a few years now. So it can depend on what you enjoy. And how much you're going to play it as well.
Yeah. So this is a blast from the past section. So this is Disco Lando's Disco Kart Racing. Does everybody remember what this was? Probably not everyone remembers this, but this is the Lando Disco. And so I'd never seen this before. I had never seen this before. I mean, we do have the Grey Cat. Nothing's much changed there, but this was a thing. In Star Citizen, you could do this.
Horrible.
It's got fuck. Oh my god! Where is this? Why haven't we still got this? This looks cool. I want to Grey Cat race.
It's Tron-like. Orange.
Yeah, I don't care. I want it. Why haven't we?
So, if you're new and you've never seen, here you go. This was a thing in Star Citizen. At one point, you could do this. You could get an orange Grey Cat.
See, that's what happens. You know what happened? It was fun. That's why I took it out. If it's fun, they get rid of it.
So I'll just leave that there whilst we. But honestly, going back in history, honestly, for anyone that's never done it, I thoroughly recommend going back and checking out like some of the old content from like 4 or 5, because this game's been in development now for like 6 years. So there is tons of stuff that even I'm learning about the game. Like, I did not know about this. I didn't even know this existed. Like, and when you hear people talk about, when people think that they're like the original, like I invented this shit or whatever, like there's usually someone somewhere like who actually did invent it, probably before that, the last person that says it. Or it's just, there's so much stuff. Like, it's a minefield. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. There's so much old footage where there is oh yeah, here we go. When things get frustrating. So this is for me. So if you think about, this was where we were at the beginning of the game. So this was this is from Disco Lando's own YouTube page. This was October the 12th, 2013. Okay, this was all you had to do in StarCitizen back then. Yeah. You had a hangar, some spaceships, some spacesuits, and this was it. You had Grey Cat, and you would get in and this is the freelancer. This is what the freelancer looked like back then, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, still beautiful.
We had the use button working well.
Was when the engines rotated.
It only had a room, and we were thankful. Exactly.
I still like the front side entrance.
Yeah, a lot of people did when that went. It was like, I liked that way of getting in.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know. Like, I was like, there was like a little ladder, little step thing that you came up to. That's pretty cool. The old use button. Miss the use button. Look at the animations on the movement, though. Like when he runs and stuff, I was like watching this again, just going, "Wow, they've improved." Like,
he's
it looks
sliding. Yeah,
his legs are kind of like bowed and.
Oh, the shooting range when they had the little tripod thing where you could stick a gun on it.
And I mean,
most people liked it. That's why CIG removed it. Exactly.
Yeah. And I think there's a bit where he gets like, this is all the detail. I mean, again, the attention to detail on stuff was pretty sensational even back then. But then look at the cockpit. Look at all the colors.
Oh,
it's like Star Trek.
Yeah. But even when you showed that Disco Lando with that last clip, that's what that hangar looked like. Star Trek. Yeah. It looked like inside one of the dishes.
I mean, look at that. Yeah. That is great.
Especially the LCDs, way too colorful.
You see that? You talk about support pillars in the way. I just noticed there's a post literally in the middle of the cockpit.
Struts.
There's a strut like about that thick in the middle.
Yeah, but I like we bring back some color. We got too much green and all this. No, it's the future. We don't need green LCDs.
Those hangers were way better than now. This is the thing. Okay, now this has got me talking, because this is I always
we don't even have hangers now practically.
Train. So you'll see there's the old Hornet there. There's the old Venger. You can see, like, honestly, the texturing is so much better now. They've done such a better job. The Grey Cat looks pretty much the same. It has obviously had a bit of a skin improvement, it would appear.
Having painted 20 of them, I can tell you it's pretty similar.
So, but I mean, for anyone that's obviously back in the day, that's what they had. That's all they had to play. So I do rain check myself. Like I said, I get frustrated and stuff at times. But oh my god, the game has improved tremendously overall. Like, insane. Like, and you'd expect to after 6 years, right? But it is. There's some big leaps forward. I do actually have something else I wanted to share with you guys, which was from my channel, my Discord channel, and this is the missile HUD. So I don't know. Let me just see if I can bring this up any bigger. I don't think I can, actually. Hang on. But I didn't notice this before, but this is, again, before my time. But this is the old missile. This was the concept. This is the old HUDs inside. So this is kind of what they look like, the original kinds. And the way that the kind of the missile kind of tracks onto something, which looks really cool, actually. I was like, that's freaking cool, the way that kind of... a whole kind of animation kind of happened. But look at all this stuff around the sides, like how cluttered the
so much information.
I was like,
is that meant to be on the helmet though?
I think so.
I think it is.
I think so.
Didn't they say they were bringing some of that back?
They are bringing it back. Yeah, they are. This is kind of, which was
kind of like Iron Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, like Iron Man, and then this was another one with it kind of tracking like the vehicle, which is kind of interesting because when it comes to like locking onto a target, like I'm curious if this animation or bigger animations of a bigger kind of like points and stuff would make it easier for people to hit ships and stuff, especially if we're slowing down combat. If that type of thing will be more effective and helpful, I think it will be. But it was I was just amazed at like how this concept
way it all kind of folds back and disappears at the screen. It's almost
it's like, and then the ships had all the it's pretty crazy. It's pretty.
They've
crazy.
had so much amazing content and UI changes, for the worse.
Well, this is the thing: is sometimes you can over polish a turd. Sometimes, can you? You know, I don't know if anyone's done it or tried it, but you can over polish, or you can go too far away. I've done it in footwear design. Like I've started a sketch, designed a sneaker, and then it's been really cool. And then I've taken that and then done an exploration and gone too far away, and then gone, I need to come back to what I originally started and look at that again, and then go away from that again and maybe in a different angle, take some of the ideas from where I've gone to then inform that. And I think that's what's happening with StarCitizen a lot of the time, is they're going all over the place and then they keep pulling, they keep coming back and taking bits, the good bits.
Suppose they try something else and then think, actually no, that didn't work, but the other way, now we know the other way works slightly better or whatever. Speaking of footwear, we do have another question, so we can ask that now.
Yeah.
And I didn't. This has nothing to do with me. JR asks, if CIG sell Crocs in game, how much in real life money do you think they should charge for us to force them into Madness's account? Nothing to do with me, I swear.
If that happens, I'm going to tell you.
I reckon we should pay something as little as like $5 just to get it into his account. I mean, Crocs are made for everybody. They shouldn't be a price. They should be a reasonable price that everybody wants to. In fact, they should be really cheap, almost. What do you reckon, like £1 or something, just so that everybody in the verse has a pair?
These fucking idiots!
Come on, it's like £1 for them. I know. I haven't got mine.
Love them.
No taste.
I think
I will give them for free.
Yes, a free, not even a flair item, a free item for buying the game. That way, it forces it into his account. I think everybody should have them. I think it should be mandatory if you're not out in the spacesuit. You should be wearing Crocs.
No. The Crocs are a no. Absolutely no.
Okay. Guess he doesn't want it.
No amount.
Just think of how much longer they'll last when you're in 0G as well, because you're not putting all the pressure on the soles. So they'll last forever.
Dangerous. No.
And if you get moon dust in them, you can easily shake them out because there's holes in them. Oh, it's such a fantastic shoe design. It's like, I don't know how no one else has not come up with it.
Rolling on, moving forward.
You don't need LTI on them. They're never gonna go. Well, they never break down.
Honestly.
Yeah, you don't need LTI. LTI is a waste of time on a Croc.
Yeah.
I tell you what, honestly, when I end up having a job working for Crocs, I'm going to be through this so badly one day. It's just going to be awful. When I'm like desperate for a job.
I see you live streaming a Croc design. And to be like,
yeah, it happened. I had to get the job. To be fair, like I said before, I have considered buying shares in Crocs because they actually do quite well. Because Plonker's like, you miserable, spend lots of money.
No, Plonkers. It's because people have got brains. They buy the best shoe that's out there. And Crocs are lazy.
Anyway, this is a StarCitizen stream.
How is it lazy?
Moving on. My idea. I got to bring in my idea because it's my idea, and I'm hosting. So this is my idea for the missile information, so that we can see the variety. So there's a bit more visual differences between them, and also we have a information around the outside indicates the size of the missile. So like what they do with the crime stat, you have like 1, 2, 3, and 4. This would mean if you have one red bar on the outside of it, it would indicate that's a missile between sizes 1 and 2. The second bar represents that you're a size 2 to 4. The third one represents 4 to 6, and then the fourth, the full red, represents 9 and above, and you're fucked. Get away. And so that way, at least then for a moment, you would basically know if you have 3 size 9s on you, or if you have 2 size 2, but then there's a bit more clarity on terms, obviously, the visual differences between the EM missiles and torpedoes and things. Because at the moment, I think one is a pyramid that goes one way and the other one's a pyramid that goes the other way. And I don't think there's a difference. I can say there's no way of me knowing that I've got a size 9 torpedo on me, other than hearing it going, as it kind of, then it blows me up instantly. For example,
I like the idea.
And I say that because, one, it kind of follows with their already existing template. But 2, when I'm streaming and somebody launches a missile at me, the one with the kind of the radar thing at the bottom, if I could see that it had 4 big red dots around it or some indicator to tell me that's 3 size 9 that's coming to me, I won't stay there still talking to chat. I will get on the ship very fast and move it. So for me as a streamer, or just for anyone, I just think an indicator would be really cool just to tell us what I don't know. That's the simplest way I can think of. If anyone has another way or a suggestion, please, if you're on YouTube
probably
or whatever,
still wouldn't notice.
Feel free to drop it. Well, I think you might know more than you realize because it's a circle around. So I think
I don't notice it.
Okay.
No, if I'm busy with my chat, I'm busy with my chat.
You want to be able to ask.
I hate to say, but I do actually. I saw it when you posted this up. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't take anything away if they do it. Like it's not ruining it. It just adds for someone that does want that information, I suppose. I mean, I don't know what difference it makes to you whether you've got a size 2 or a size 4 coming at you, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea.
I know people are saying about pilot knowledge and stuff. Yeah, I get that, but I mean, I'm saying after maybe after a certain point of size, you could make it so that that's why I'm trying to put it into a group size. So you could increase the group range. You could make it 1 to 4 is the top bar, and then
pilot
the next one
knowledge. That's crazy. You're gonna know every single ship. And every single missile loadout for every single ship. Don't be that's just craziness. No way.
Computers
I don't even know the fucking loadout on my own ship. So how the hell am I going to know what I'm fighting against? If it says I've got a missile coming from me, I try to fly out the way. In fact, actually, I mean, this isn't okay. I'm not the best example, but I don't even know where my fucking flare and chaff button is. So when I got missiles coming at me, I just have to sit there and when I'm doing it in arena, kind of I just tense up.
Push all buttons.
It's just like crying. Come on, just hit me. Just please, not so hard.
To answer the thing you're saying about you winning combat, you won't. I actually hope that you were actually wrong completely on this one, Fenrir, in terms of I hope that they would get to a place where the balancing is very good, so you can have a real wide array. We're going to have lots more ships, lots more weapons and missiles and different types of things by the time we get to the game release. But across the board, we haven't had any of the Vandal ships in. We haven't had any of the, aliens, real races, alien ships that many. I'm hoping we'll get more. And it will really throw everything in mix. I mean, it's a headache, obviously, for balancing people, I know. But,
I think there will be a big mix of ships. I think there will.
I hope so. But, yeah, I just think...
What's the symbol for if someone launches an Aurora at you?
It could be like a little Care Bear. I could do some silly ones in the corner.
This
no problem.
Will be the signal.
I could do lots of silly ones in the corner. There's not a problem. We can work on some other ones. But somebody was saying about masking. I am cool with the idea of masking your signal, but it should be an indication that it's being masked. So maybe it's glitchy, or it kind of has like it's hashed. So you can't make out necessarily if it's 1 or 2 of the bars, but you could potentially, for certain types of missiles, you could maybe mask it a little bit, so it's harder to see. But it still gives you a rough idea if you roughly know. But or if something's blocking the missile for EMP warfare, then that you can see that it's being blocked, or that someone's like in Star Trek and stuff, you go, oh my god, our scanners are being blocked. I can't get any. Oh, we're being hacked or blocked, or and then obviously someone's trying to hide the size of the missile, which gives you an idea. If obviously someone's trying to hide the size of the missile, that means it's probably a big ass missile. So Are
you happy to see me, or is that a big missile in your pocket?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the idea of Stan gun, just put up a big shit emoji in your screen.
Yeah,
so you don't know what it is.
Oh shit! For you.
So that was I don't normally have very good ideas, but I actually thought that was a reasonably good idea.
Thumbs up for you.
Thank you. I'll put it on Spectrum, and I guarantee about 20 thumbs down, and people will give me a million reasons why this.
Oh fuck that!
But we'll put it up.
What do they know?
Yeah. What are they exactly? They know nothing.
They probably don't even play the game.
So yeah, that was a little bit, and then Disco. By the way, guys, have you ever seen Disco? Was first ever when he first. I didn't know this, but Disco actually. Sorry, we just blast from the past stuff again because we're like I said, we're thin on the ground. So this is.
That's not
the very. This is the very first around the verse Disco. He's been eaten by them. This is.
Disco in the past. This is not Disco.
This is not Disco. This was what Disco used to look like before the surgery. Now we move on. Here we go. This was actually Disco.
Over to you, James.
Thanks, Ben.
I miss Ben.
I'm here with
Where's
Jared
Ben?
Huckabee, or as you may know him on the forums
Ben
and on
is working
YouTube,
on it.
Disco Lando.
Wing Commander. stuff.
Disco Lando. I didn't realize. I remember. I think someone did briefly tell me, probably Miz actually, and I wasn't paying attention. But that Disco was actually a content video creator before, and this guy is. What's really funny is this. He took his job.
That's why do you think he's staring at the camera again?
This is really funny. I was just like,
I'm having job in
you're talking to the guy that literally took your job.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, everybody.
All right, so how did you get started making videos?
Well, I was a pledger, backer.
Anyway, we won't go into it, but the video's up there.
I'm
Go
going to
check
have
it
your
out.
job in a minute. Just wait, and I'll be taking it, so you can shift off out
Go
of the
check it
chair.
out. I'm going to say to Disco, I'm going to give him a thumbs up. He's looking much better. He's lost a lot of weight. He looks much better than. He looks much more healthy than here. And I think there was another gentleman on this video as well. See if I can dig him out. I think he's on one of the either here. I wonder if I've got him here. One of the other guys. This is why I love going back in the videos. I think it's in this one. Maybe not. No, it's not this one. I'll dig him out another time. But again, something about working at StarCitizen seems to make most people look really healthy. So I need to go.
It's because they haven't got time to eat. It's
I think so.
work.
I think that's right. You must be right.
Stop feeding the employees.
Blast from the past. Going on. Okay, so here we go. So question for you guys. Where do you see this game in 3 years?
On my computer screen.
What do you
mean by whether you think it's going to be completed or not? Or do you mean Squadron 42 or do you mean StarCitizen?
So basically, what's your perception? How do you see things, content and stuff, metas and gameplay balance and general perception for gamers? You know, where do you guys see, like, kind of in the next 3 years? What would your take? What do you mean this game? Yeah, Squadron 42 out.
Yes.
In 3 years, yeah. I think we'll lose a lot of content to make sure that it's out when they've now given us the release date. I'd be not shocked, but I think it's unlikely that they'll move it again. 50%.
50%. That's so good. That's so fucking good. That is so true.
Maybe on the
they don't do sales at StarCitizen. Didn't you know that? There is no such thing as a sale. It's a pledge. 50% disc, 50% pledge.
But for StarCitizen, I think we will have StarCitizen, but nowhere near the 100 systems they promised.
In 3 years, I'm not even sure. I don't think.
Do you think they'll even get to the second system in 3 years?
I see them working on the second system, but
I think the second system's easier than actually doing the game mechanics.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't think it's the extra systems that the issue. I think it's the game mechanics, the network, and all that. That's the issue. I mean, like we said, a lot of the recent ATVs, especially over the last year, have been all about building up the tool sets, and every one of those tool sets is allowing them to create things a lot faster. So I think it's the mechanics that are holding things back, and I think building the actual system that is not so difficult.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they want to try and wow people. If they feel like, you know, they need to kind of like at the end of the year they want to give a wow in, they could get us as jump gates in to another system. Because at the end of the day, like, the way I look at it is like that would wow people. Everyone would be like, oh, It's amazing, just kind of a whole new, load of planets, another planet, maybe make it a really interesting, more lush or diverse planet. Or whatever.
Yeah, but when they do that, I hope they will have that subsumption in for the quests.
Oh god, yeah.
The
I
missions.
hope so.
Otherwise, we still have like empty systems, and we can explore some stuff.
Yeah.
But nothing else to do.
And we need to be able to log out in our spaceships if we're going to start having extra systems as well, and log in successfully, so you can keep getting in and out of your spaceship, so you have that persistence in the game for sure. Yeah, definitely. I agree. 3 years. I probably still on Asylum Podcast, episode 412.
Saltier as ever.
200. No, hopefully not. We'll hopefully,
Oh, you will.
Not.
Oh, you will.
A little bit.
No, what it will be is we'll be sitting on the podcast going, next year it's going to be the breakthrough year. Next year. That's when all the good shit's coming in.
NPCs. Do you think we'll be able to form a lasting relationship with our NPCs in a romance way?
What do you mean with lasting relationships? They remember our choices.
Well, they've already said they want to kind of do that. Like someone's asking, like, do you do you think you'll be able to, form a, get married and have a married NPC effectively?
I'm not getting married.
No, I don't say you are. I'm just saying you could have a girlfriend or a couple girlfriends in the verse from different systems. Do you think that basically? Do you think you'll be able to have relationships?
Yeah. Then you could have women in game saying, "Oh, you haven't visited in a week. Where the fuck have you been? I think you're going on that cargo run. You ain't fucking cargo run. It's 2 weeks away unless you're taking me somewhere first."
How to ruin a game, computer game?
Well, it would be nice if the NPCs. If the NPCs would remember your answers or choices, which you make during missions and stuff, in that way building a relation. But marriage? Yeah. No way, man. No way.
No.
Even if it's a sexy vandal.
You can. I'm just thinking. I think the age should be 18 for this. So like Grand Theft Auto and stuff. Obviously, you can have sex with prostitutes.
Well,
I wonder if you'd be able to. That's maybe not a lot.
Anyway, I don't care if they remember or not. It's just...
Dude, I got a VR headset. Come on.
VR headset. God, that would bring in some serious bucks for StarCitizen. They've already said they're not going to go. That's not the type of gameplay. But in terms of forming relationships, I know they spoke about obviously they'll remember, like you said, Book. They'll remember your actions and they'll respond accordingly. I just wonder if they'll formulate kind of, you could in theory build a relationship with an NPC and for role play, for the role players out there that really like that type of thing. I think that could be
for them role players out there, right?
Yes. All right, moving on to the next question. Ground vehicles forward.
Got your lady sitting next to you.
No, I'm moving forward.
Be careful.
I'm moving backwards on this one.
That's why he's claiming everybody else. But he's since doing D&D, he's heading into the role play now. He wants a lady in every port.
Oh my god. Right.
They remember you, and the thing is, you won't remember them. He goes, are you Jacqueline? Are you Jack? No, what was your name?
Wait a minute.
Flying in.
What planet is this again? Oh, yeah. Oh,
shit.
You,
then the comm opens up. You get like 5 different calls on the comms. Like, where have you been? I'm trying to get. No, fuck. Turning around. Turn around.
Turn around. Fucking take off.
We're so misogynist over here. Currently, at least with the default settings. Oh, so someone was saying about. I love the way ground. This is interesting. He's saying, Sergi, wheel ground vehicles get a forward and reverse toggle for throttle. I was like, I thought you could go backwards. I didn't understand this, and maybe one of you guys can clear. So I love the ground vehicles with the HOTAS exception to the sensitivity of the throttle. Currently, at least with default setting, the throttle is set for both forward and reverse, with stop being at exactly 50%. This is very hard to find and makes fine adjustments difficult. Not to mention embarrassing parking situation. Now, is he talking about a dead zone in the throttle? The dead zone needs to be bigger so that he doesn't keep going backwards and forwards all the time. Is that what he means? I was curious if we could get a forward and reverse toggle.
I'm trying to figure that out because I don't have any issues with it.
The new flight mechanic was meant to do that, wasn't it? So that you either have it to 50%, which stops you, and then if you pull back, it reverses, Or you can do it the other way, which is you toggle it. So if you push forward, it goes forward. Then you toggle it and you push forward and it goes in reverse.
Yeah.
So what he's asking, is it saying he's asking for it or is he commenting?
Yeah, he's saying he's wanting it. He's wanting it. It's currently default. He says, I was curious if getting the full range of the throttle speed for settings. I think it's tricky because we do know like you said, but the flight model's changing. So it was just, it was a question.
I think,
yeah, that's what I thought. We're getting more control over that.
Mine doesn't go in reverse when I pull it back. Mine just goes to 0.
I saw this just because I just thought this is a cool video from StarCitizen.
Is it a croc?
Fuck, that's so cool.
It's close. Do you know what? When I saw that, all I imagined was me hitting the rock.
Boo! That was Miz.
That would have been
Eyes closed.
So much better if it was an explosion. That would have been so much better.
It would have been.
Goes to a flyby and you just literally see the fireball go past instead.
What would have been better is if they had 2 people doing it. The first one would have been me, obviously, because I'm just generally better. Flying, and then Miz would have been coming in the rear with like the freelancer max.
My turn. We should do it. We should set it up. We need to do it.
That would be so good. And we're gonna do it. And do you know what'll happen? Is it'll be me, and I will go straight into just explode, and Miz will just like backwards roll through like that. Going,
if I don't crash the ship, I'll kill the cameraman. Take the cameraman out. Be like, oh, no.
That'd be so. All right, Bok, you get to do this next. We're gonna record it. You get to stand on the thing, and we go to test.
We will.
Oh, fantastic! I love it. I just like honestly, I saw that and I was like, that is an awesome video clip. Really, really cool. Oh my god, sorry. Comstabs. This is how low the content is this week, guys. So Comstabs. Okay, so this is an interesting because I've had a few people talk to me about Comstabs. Someone talked to me about Comstabs today. I describe Comstabs as temping bowling with the rails down. So like when you're bowling and the risk of going into the gutters is high, if you're not very skilled, you bring the rails down, and obviously it helps you out. That's the way I kind of envision Comstabs. Is it stops you from going left and right, keeps you pretty much going straight, so your strafing is reduced and stuff. When you have it off, obviously you can glide around a lot more. Comstabs is weird. I don't think it's very well implemented in game. In truth, I think most people switch it off because it's garbage, really. And it basically affects your thrusters, all those little thrusters and stuff. So this person was wondering about the degrees of Comstabs. So he was talking about, now as far as I'm aware, Comstabs I believe is disappearing in the new flight model. And like I'm just kind of wondering what you guys, because do you guys fly with Comstab on, or do you fly with Comstabs off, or do you not even know and have always just never really paid attention to it?
I'm not really the best person to ask. But there was one. I think it was Comstab. Is that the one you keep telling Rithius to turn off?
Yes.
Comstabs. Yeah.
Yes.
So I turned it off when you was telling him to turn it off, and I blacked out a hell of a lot in the Buccaneer. It was just like, yeah.
It basically.
I always had this issue with turning corners, that I was losing speed like crazy, and when I turned off Comstab, it was way less. So therefore, I have it always off now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. Those are the two kind of things that you have to kind of weigh up. Obviously, is the blackout is obviously more severe. It's not horrendous. G-Safe is the main one you need to check. Miserable if you did it. If you cycled your IFCS's modes, or if you just switched off specifically Comstab, because if you cycled, you might have switched off your G-Safe. Also, if you've switched your boost to be on the boost to switch off G-Safe as well, you'll just check. There's a few little things there, but they obviously all affect blacking out and stuff. We can talk about it. We can talk about that later. I'll show you.
Yeah. It's something I need to practice. But although I'm playing a little bit now with like Rithius and that, I'm kind of waiting for the flight model because I don't want to learn too much and it'd be so different that it's a bit pointless getting it drummed into me. Like I don't mind practicing shooting and stuff and learning of it, but really there's no point getting super good at this flight model and then it being so different. So
what this person talks about, which is interesting, is they talk about a percentage for the Comstabs, and this is where it's going to be interesting with the new flight model what they do, if they bring in the more of a percentage model in or get rid of it completely. Because I like the suggestion of what they're saying in terms of for people. I always like the idea of giving people the option to maybe if you can either go on or off, obviously, which can be painful for people. It's like kind of sink or swim. It's like swimming. It's like a swimming pool, and you gotta go. You have a choice. You can either go into the baby pool over there and not drown, or we can throw you in there and see if you can learn to swim pretty quickly. And not die. Basically, you're gonna throw you in. There's no kind of progression to a certain state, which is where you get your slider bar. And I think this person was saying is you would have the option of say 25% comm stab, 50% comm stab, 75%, and 100%, which would obviously mean you could slowly work your way towards being zero.
Getting used to.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like but then when you're on a bike, you take your stabilizers off, and then you just got to do it or you fall off.
Yeah.
You don't have half a stabilizer to see if you get any good, and then take one.
But you have to stay.
So there's different. Depends what analogy you use. There's different ways of learning it. Definitely. But,
It's definitely. But then I would say you did have your dad behind you, holding you, pushing you when you didn't have the stabilizers.
No, my dad just had the camera laughing. Go on, son.
He gave you a push. You did the push. That's your 25% now. But I know what you're saying. I agree. It's yeah. So I would. But what the reason why he does this, which I was really interesting, because then this brings about this is a little video on YouTube, and I just want to bring it up, and this is to do with in atmosphere, and this is to do with 6 degrees of movement, and this is a fighter plane. This is when people talk about why when we fly in atmosphere we should always be kind of going straight and less turning and stuff. This is really interesting. So I'll turn it on. So this is a ship using almost. Notice how he almost
look how fucked it is,
and then look how it kind of moves.
Like it.
That's the famous move. Yeah, that's the Sukhoi that can do that. It's amazing.
2 seconds later,
but
the ground. They cut that bit. You didn't see the bit where it falls to the ground.
Which was kind of dope. And I was kind of... I mean, granted, if you did that in StarCitizen and Moist is behind you, you're going to be dead because you literally presented your entire ship to them. But what was interesting was just the way that it moved, it glided and kind of... It did that wonderful kind of gliding.
It stopped like that for a while because he probably blacked out as well. And then when he righted himself, he got back in again. He's like, oh shit, yeah.
Whoops. That was new. Accident.
Everyone's feeling go, wow, look what he just did. He goes, no, he just blacked out. He fucked up.
So I think that there is always, again, if they want to, I don't want them to go to a situation where they make it easy for everyone. I would rather them have a hard setting, like a skill setting, like make the game a skillful game, and then give people the ability to work their way towards a certain skill level. If you naturally want to kind of go in at the deep end and learn and go for it. But I love the idea of there being more of there's naturally that there anyway already, but an improved version of kind of growth to a skill. My biggest worry has always been with the new flight model and some of the other gameplay is they just, consoleize it. Effectively, we just make it easy. Just make it easy for everyone. Gimbals will make it easy.
I know it's kind of pointless maybe talking about the concept of they're taking it out, but we know that they've shown you when they were editing like the values for the engines and stuff that it's all on sliders anyway. So like they would say, oh, we did this one at top speed and it's too much, so we bring this slider down, and so we know that these correction thrusters are working at 80% or so. They know that it all kind of works on sliders. So I suppose it wouldn't technically be too difficult to say, well, if that's working on a slider anyway, put a button so that it works at like a percentage of its capacity, I suppose, which would be interesting if it helped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I suppose in most games and things, if there's a way to gently ease you into getting your skill level up, rather than because obviously if it goes from the analogy like you're saying, going from super easy to super hard, it's like if it's too hard, people just won't bother. If they just feel like, oh, I can't do that, so they don't bother trying. It's only the people that love blowing themselves up that might keep doing it until they get better at it.
Well, it really depends what you want. If you really want to get into dogfighting, maybe the best way is to take a deep dive and start flying the hard way with all the aids off, and do it like that, like we did in 263.
I mean,
you mentioned it.
I mean, no, sorry, I'm not going to do that. But he didn't say the point. Yeah, he did, didn't he? Did you say 2.6.3?
Yeah. I think you used to have special music for when that's played. I feel like
but the thing for me is,
like,
like
2.6.3 is one of this. You remember the days.
You remember the days.
And you could actually fly a ship. Wonderful.
we're by the way, we're getting to that bit, Miz. That's the next bit that's coming up. We get to talk about that actually. What was I going to say? Completely lost my train of thought. Fuck it. Let's move on. I'm stuck on kisses and close-ups. Right, Miz, go for it. Miz, as we're doing the close-ups, go on. Let's have it. Let's have Miz's soapbox moment. This is Miz's thing, so let's just go for it.
It's nothing really. It's just pathetic. But it's like, I just get fed up with the way that they keep editing ATV like as if it's a movie or something like that. It's like, we all know we're watching game developers sitting at a desk introducing the next clip that's coming up, and instead we seem to have this. And there was a point when, I don't know if anyone watched the Oscars, I didn't, but there was a clip afterwards about how the Bohemian Rhapsody won Best Edit. Maybe I'll try and find the clip of it, but Best Edited Film. And everybody's spamming this clip on Twitter saying, this is the worst edited thing I've ever seen. And basically they jump from face to face to face to face. There's about 50 cuts in the space of about a minute. And there was a point in ATV recently where they were doing the same thing. And like they did try to explain it was because some of the way the devs were making mistakes and they had to cut it together. But it was just like face cam right in their face. And like half the reason a lot of these devs don't come on ATV in the first place is because they're not that comfortable in front of a camera. And then they decide that, this will be a good idea. Let's make it like this for a camera when they're talking to you, so that those of you that are really uncomfortable about being on camera, you can have your whole face on the camera. And it's like, why are you doing that? We don't just put one camera angle where they're talking to you. And yeah, that was it. They were editing out the parts, but then does it really need to zoom in every time they do that? But then now they've gone, so I think they did kind of go away from that a bit, maybe with this whole new format. But the last two ATVs, they've gone back and done this, and there's a couple of pictures in our Discord that I put on there of this. Like they just zoom in. It's like when they're trying to ask their personal opinion, and because it's so scripted, it's even worse. So they're just sitting there going, that was a really interesting piece of ATV. I loved the way the man walked around that line, don't you? And it's just zoomed in on his face, and it's just like, I don't need to see every hair in his nose. Why did they do that? Anyway, like I said, it's not really anything. It's just, why do they do it? It just drives me insane. But there you go. That's me.
I'm trying to see if I can find you the editing for you. Is this the face when they're talking to each other?
Yeah, they're talking to each other.
This is someone they're sitting around the table together, looking at each other.
Yeah, that's the one. And they even like zoom in on the chair, like on the Bohemian Rhapsody thing. They zoom in on the chair, like this, like what's like thumbs up, and then it's like, oh, change scene. And apparently they were doing it before he's even finished the sentence. And no, wait for it, the chair, because that's an important part of the film. It's just terrible editing. It's so terrible.
Okay.
But best edited film, no, folks. Best edited film. No, I haven't seen the film yet, but I mean, that's only one clip from.
So I sense something's triggering Miz. Like I get triggered by Crocs. Miz gets triggered by close-up and meaningful kind of.
No, I don't.
Videos.
I think it's fine having a close-up when you're watching a film and they're doing an emotional piece or they're talking about their dying mum. When they're on ATV, just saying, that was really cool. I want to see some more of that in the future. It's like, it just doesn't look right. It's not needed. It doesn't look right.
Have you seen what Toby posted just in the channel?
Hang on.
No.
On the podcast.
Oh, the chicken thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Seriously, I'll never look at a Cutlass Black again the same way. What a shame. It was such a beautiful ship one time. Oh well. Right, we're back to the drought. We have Bokbear.
Anyway,
have you Bok? Was that? Did you want to? Was there any more? Sorry, Miss. I didn't want to. Did you continue with the?
We had a couple of mentions. I don't know if you want to discuss it or you don't have to on our YouTube.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah,
channel the comments.
Yeah.
So
whereabouts is it?
One of them was a little bit just on my soapbox. So I didn't know where else to put it at the moment. So. One of them was that basically someone was mentioned in response to So we kind of went on about it on the last week's show. So Derek79 on YouTube kind of brought up the thing that if you say something gets too difficult, then people's response in StarCitizen, I think he means like the community seems to be, well, go and play a realistic sim, then go and play a sim rather than make StarCitizen more challenging, or it's like people's responses. If that's what you want, go and play a sim. And I think like on my response to that was one of the things is it's difficult because when people say a space sim, it's one of the game genres that I think most space games are called space sims, even when they're not a true simulator. Unlike a flight sim or a driving sim, people call even arcadey ones are called space sims, and so it's just I think it's right in terms of people shouldn't just go, oh, if that's how you want it, go and play a space sim. Like what StarCitizen is trying to do is get the balance between both. And it's like there is an in-between. It doesn't have to be arcade. It doesn't have to be full-on sim. We can have a nice blend of both. But like we said, it's always going to be a difficulty in terms of who's, you can't please, you're not going to please everybody. And I think I even put that on that comment. It's like, there is no physical way that even all these million or backers that have backed the game, you are not going to please every single one of them. There's going to be people there that go, this isn't how I wanted it. And like I said, you said as well, Madness, that you may well get to release that and go, I don't like this game. This isn't. They've changed the flight mechanics too much. This is not how I want to play, and it's just a reality. It may well happen. Well, yeah.
Could be all over for you within a month.
I think you muted yours. What? We can hear you. Have you muted your microphone on stream?
Yes, sorry. I'm not quite sure how I did that. Muted.
Oh dear God.
How did that happen? Must have pressed the button by mistake. Yes, what was I saying?
What he said.
What he said, yeah.
He just agreed that he may well come to the end and he won't be playing.
Yeah, no, that was it. I could effectively come to the, I'm already at the stage now where, I accept that, even before the game's finished, I could end up not wanting to play it. The flight model could be terrible. There could be so many punishing game mechanics that make the game really unfun, from Death of a Spaceman to, oh God, like the itemized, inventory slot. There could be a shit ton of realistic kind of game features that Chris wants in the game because that's what he sees as important to the game. Misfiring, all this other stuff that he feels is important for the game that he wants to create. That I don't necessarily think is, but could break the game's fun for me so bad that I don't want to play it anymore. It's perfectly possible. Now, feeding, and showering.
It will happen to people. It will happen.
Yeah, it's perfectly possible.
People that they're not going to want.
And I'm fully aware of that. You know what I mean? I'm fully aware of that. This is a perfectly good choice that could happen, and I don't. I'm hoping that the bulk of the game will be so much more awesome that those small things won't be. I'll find something. Whether it's it might change.
That's the hope. I think that's the more hope is that it's going to be. Even it so I think I don't know if it was on that post or one of my responses, but anyway, it's when you go and buy a house, it's like you have this big wish list of everything you want it to have and want it to do, but you always have to compromise. There's very little in things that you buy that are 100% what you want, and then it's the same way. Pretty much most games we play, there's always something where it's like, oh, this is such an amazing game, and then there's always a but. There's always something, but overall, your enjoyment of it or what you want far outweighs those little things that you make the compromise on. Because we don't live in a perfect world. There isn't a perfect everything everywhere. There is always going to be something that's not right or not tuned right or whatever. So it's, all you can do is hope that the balance is enough between space and arcade, meet in the middle somewhere where it suits everybody as best it can, or you get at least something you like from it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree.
Beautifully.
It's like a relationship. It's like a relationship with another person. There's always something. You can learn to love the flaws. That's how you learn to love the person.
Or kick it out the door.
That is true. StarCitizen plus crooks. Okay, I was wrong. There is one item that's perfect, and it's a croc. If StarCitizen can be a croc, then we're all golden. We're all golden.
Wow. And then there was
there was another one. Jedi Drifter said that if CIG wants us, so they should have brought this up earlier. Actually, CIG wants to test us, as they say, then they should give us more credits up front and to spend on ship rentals, armor, and equipment. And we get it wiped anyway, so wouldn't that get people to play longer in each patch and get them to test it? And so my question kind of attached to that is, do they actually really want us to test it, or are they that bothered about us testing it? Like, we have the PTU and we have the Vocati section. When it comes to us playing on the PU, is it just letting us have the game because that's what we paid and backed for? And I know they get some information from it, but they're not. Like, are they really that bothered about the overall every bug or every crash because they know most of them anyway?
Okay, so this is my argument for this one. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. But when HC Vertigo and a few of the other guys, I think it was, oh God, I forgot his name, Make 'em Rage and Binary Loop and all that, were testing the ship, they're putting all the guns onto a ship. Was that PTU or was that live build?
When they were putting the big fucking guns on. I think that was PU. I don't think we had PTU up at that time, did we?
That was live. That's my point. That's my point. They found a serious bug and they reported it, and it became a big thing within the persistent unit. Like, ultimately, in my mind, I would say we are game testers always. Whether the game is finished or not, we're game testers always. We're here to try and find and help and support to the ability. You don't have to be in it, and on paper, officially we're not meant to be or whatever else. But I think that it's kind of, this kind of game is a kind of ours, effectively. So it's kind of a bit more precious. We've ultimately paid for the funding, the development, and the making. So I take that responsibility very serious when I press that report button every time it crashes. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but that button is super important, so I always make sure I press that button and do my piece. I still don't understand why I haven't been allowed any Vocati, because I've pressed that button thousands of times, it feels like, in 3 years, and I still haven't had that email asking me to join Vocati. But for the people that go that little bit extra, come on, let's be honest, it's only a little bit extra, who fill out all those forms and do the video recordings and write up all the notes and stuff. We do that all the time. So for me, super important. That we're at it all the time. I honestly don't feel we're not. So for him to say they should give us more credits up front because we're game testing, I've said this before we had the game ships in game. I was saying that they should have given us all the ships, or not give us all the ships, but they should give us the ships relevant for every patch to test the game mechanics. I still feel they could do that, but then part of me is like, well, renting's coming in, so hopefully renting will.
This is kind of what I'm saying, whereas I don't feel. Part of me doesn't feel like they're that bothered. Like, obviously we're testing. Obviously they want us to report bugs, but they don't. I don't feel like they're like. That sort of focus testing it's not that they don't want everybody flying a Prospector, because they don't necessarily want that focus type of testing. They don't mind hearing people mining and having issues, and they'll go and correct that little bug, but they're not sitting there number crunching thinking, right, okay, we've got 20 prospectors and they're all mining and that's going to. They're not bothered about that. I think that's why we're not getting it, probably. I could be wrong. And if they are, I think you're right. I think on that, then I think they should give us the ships. But I think that's why they're not giving us them.
They're probably, I would have thought when you go to live and stuff, you're more interested in the server side of information and kind of things
just data information.
Yeah. More than the specifics. But obviously, unless, like, for example, the one which came up, which is obviously the game breaking one, which was obviously the guns, you could do any old fucking gun on anything. That kind of was like, oh, that's a big one, which is great. Yeah. And that's why I'm really happy that, people find these things and do try and stress test the game effectively at all stages, all the way through. Because it got missed in either Cotty, I think, and or maybe it wasn't missed, but maybe or in PTU that little bit, people didn't realise the full effect of what they missed, kind of thing. But anyway, yes, I agree. I think you're right. I think, but honestly, I think with ship rentals coming in, I definitely agree with the guy, person in chat. He says at the end of the day, you've got to make sure that people have a reason to do missions. I actually think you can make pretty good money now in the game. Like, I mean, you do a widow run, make some friends, do a couple widow runs, and you're set up probably for the entire patch. I make 180,000. I'm pretty comfortable, like, generally, pretty comfortable. So, I would like it that I could borrow Miz's ship and make money on Miz's ship. Would be nice. That would be nice. Like, I could borrow your Caterpillar and I would be able to then fill it up and then sell the cargo from that. That would help me out a lot. That would help players out a lot.
So someone needs to make the money because I can't.
Or sharing, more ability to give each other money would be nice too, to share money out. We have the beacon system. I've said this before. There are many different, I think just to give people credits, I think is kind of maybe a little bit too easy. I think that we could actually challenge CIG to be a bit more effective with their game and give us a better, way of making ships and doing better testing. It's the truth, but that's just me. What do you think, Bok?
Bok is getting a bit tired. Sorry,
oh no,
I'm a bit silent.
We're not going to be alone.
No, I totally agree on that.
Okay, good. That was nice, short and sweet.
That is so somebody that didn't listen to a fucking tiny bit of that.
No, I listened to it. I listened to it, but
what can you do with an Aurora? Carlos, sorry, is he saying you can't do what make a load of money with an Aurora?
May make a load of money, yeah. I mean, we've said it. This is kind of a discussion we've had before in just terms of how much you get in the rewards. And I think if they wanted us to test the mechanic, you feel like we should be getting probably slightly bigger payouts than we do at the moment. Compared to considering the rental of the ship is millions.
Yeah, you could make. Yeah, the rent, like when we see what the renting is, let's see what the renting is and how much it costs to rent and stuff. Ships in game, we've said this before, is I do feel like they should introduce the Avenger and some more of the ships to kind of work your way up to the bigger ones.
Yeah.
I definitely think, like I said, there are game things they need to change in game to help improve it rather than just giving people money. And I think that's probably why they're holding off on it, because I think that, let's be honest, these things should be in the game. The more of a progression path towards the Cutlass. So I think rather than just giving people the money, I would have advocated, if they knew it was going to take this long, then they should have just given everyone the money. But CIG seems to be this case of they don't do
it's
that.
Like why put like the Hammerhead and the freaking Connie up for sale in the showroom, like when you could have put the next tier, like you said, like the Avengers and the next tier up that people can actually look and aim for, rather than my next ship up's going to be a Hammerhead. No, just let's put the freaking the smaller ships up first.
I hope they're gonna work on the in-game economy a bit more, get more realistic prices so that everybody can actually try out the different ships with specific functions, like the Prospector or salvage in the future. I personally don't own a salvage ship, but I really want to see how that works. So. Give me the possibility to rent that ship and take a go with it.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. Well, with the renting's coming, so hopefully, like you said, with that, we just hope that they put the smaller ships in as well to go with it. Yeah.
I hope so. The renting will the renting with the smaller ships. But like I said, we should have all the ships, in my opinion, that you can buy in the webpage, pledge store, that you can buy to fly should all definitely be in there.
Give us all the ships.
I honestly, anything that's flight ready, in my opinion, should be in the game somewhere. Maybe they just don't have. Maybe they've already got planned out. This is the thing. Maybe they've got planned out where they want to put the ships, the stations, the buildings, Art Corp.
Probably.
They've got obviously Microtech.
We've got
that's what
shit in Stanton that's not supposed to be there just so we can test it. So you do feel like, come on. Does it matter? Like this goes back to a whole different conversation of why are they making some of these things matter so much? Like, we've got loads of empty space on all these planets. Why are you making it so that we can't put the Connie there because we don't really want to sell the Connie at Levski or whatever? It's like that. Anyway, that's a different thing. But I don't agree. I don't think keeping it because they've got it on the planet at the moment. I think that's just a bit pointless.
We were going to have, this is a type of conversation because we could go around. I think we've talked about this conversation quite a lot, and I think the community talks about this a lot. But the truth of the matter is the people that need to have this conversation with is CIG people a bit more, really. That's the way I would like it. This is the type of stuff that should be on the question forums. This is the stuff that should be asked to them. I don't know if it is often. I don't know if they answer it, or maybe they're very good at avoiding it. Maybe they have done and they've avoided it very well or beautifully. But it's the sort of thing that maybe the reasons why you go to BritizenCon, the reasons why you go to CitizenCon, because you can meet the devs, you can ask them, and they'll probably tell you, as long as you're not holding a microphone.
Yeah, or bringing them on the stream.
Get them a couple of drinks. Answer these questions. A question for anyone here, by the way. Who's going to CitizenCon this year? I shall definitely be.
Citizen or BritizenCon?
CitizenCon. BritizenCon is separate. We'll do CitizenCon first, and then we can ask about BritizenCon. Yeah. I'm definitely going to go.
If I get a ticket.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I need to subscribe to Imperator or whatever it's called.
Do we have more chance though, because it's been in the UK? There's less Americans soaking them up, so
maybe
probably a bit more chance than you would in them. Well,
so.
Maybe.
I know that some people missed the chance when we were going to Frankfurt. It was quite hard for some.
Yeah, it was hard on. Yeah, that is true. Frankfurt was a nightmare.
Yeah.
So, by the way, for anyone that's new to the channel, by the way, if you are interested and you like what we're doing, or you've just been listening to us for the last 5 minutes and go, these are a bunch of noobs or whatever the case, do hit the follow button, subscribe on our YouTube channel, which I will get the link in. Go check it out. Go catch up on our previous podcasts. I guarantee it, we have a lot of fun. I think, guys, unless there's any more questions, if anyone's got any questions for us, feel free to now, but I think we're done. There is some other things on here, but we are just filling for the sake of filling, and I'm not going to continue with filling for the sake of filling.
We're not going to just we've got no more questions.
You got the BritizenCon link, Madness.
The BritizenCon, it should be in the document. Where is it? Which one's it under?
Useful links.
BritizenCon. Yes, so BritizenCon. Let me just grab it a second. It is happening.
You've already done it. April 27th.
I thought I had the link
soon. April 27th. And there probably will be a StarCitizen on the Friday, and probably one after the event as well, which it normally is. And I think there's still the tickets are on sale, and I think there's still a few VIP ones where you get a freelancer model with your ticket built by JRDF.
3D printed.
How much is the VIP one?
100 and something.
And how big is the
180?
It is 120 for the VIP ticket, which gives you event access with priority seating. It gives you a BritizenCon t-shirt, a 3D BritizenCon challenge coin, and a 3D printed Freelancer Max model.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. And it's official because it'll be from JR, so that's an official model. That's like a legit.
And it comes on a stand. And there was a newsletter that I don't know. They've actually, let's see if they got a picture.
Just that alone is worth probably about 60, 70 pounds if you think about it. And then the t-shirt on top of that, t-shirt's roughly 10, and the rest of it. And then you buy that. That's that. I hate to say it, but that's a good deal.
It'll come on a little BritizenCon plaque, and I think the Freelancer Max model is also on the plaque. It'll have your in-game character handle etched on it somehow as well, I believe.
For anyone on YouTube, do we have the link for the BritizenCon in the YouTube thing as well? If they don't, well, I'll make sure that it's there.
We should do like a comment section, like the very first comment, and pin it, and then put the links in there for people so that it's easier to find.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to end it because my wife's decided that she wants to do a full-on twerk dance next to me right now. She's got headphones. She's gone crazy right now.
What did you drink? Put away that green screen. Show us. Come on.
She's probably not wearing any clothes, so
it's 18 plus. Come on.
Well, I'm busy tonight, guys. See ya.
You get one with the VIP. It's not a chance to win one.
Yeah. So
anyway, guys. So thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah. Thank you.
Follows.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the rates.
Make sure you go and follow everybody else on the channel. And follow everybody else on the Asylum team. We're all odd people. Yeah.
Very odd.
We do if you're interested in Dungeons and Dragons, we do a Dungeons and Dragons sometimes. At the moment we're having a little bit of issues with a few things, but we'll be back up and running with some D&D content. Miserable is an awesome painter. He's been doing some of the models and stuff which you might have seen JR DF do. Miz is painting some of them, and he's painting some other things that I probably can't talk about, but he's doing some other cool paintings, which is pretty cool. He can't talk NDA. But watch the space. Watch the space, because it's got to be
self-portrait of Chris.
A bit of Bob Ross, Chris.
Basically, what he's done is he's done Scrooge McDuck jumping into a massive pile of money, and just photoshopped Scrooge's face.
Oops, sorry guys.
Be like, it's a scam! And written on like StarCitizen, just more money every time the concept.
It's going to be a big poster that you can buy.
So yeah, and then
Bok,
you stream Anthem at the moment. You stream StarCitizen.
I haven't streamed last week. Probably will not stream this week.
Okay.
It's hard to tell. Of course, I will be back when 3.5 lands, but for now, it's hard to tell when I can stream again.
Well, we have the best stream team, the most inactive stream team in the community. So really,
we are the biggest stream team that doesn't stream.
Stream.
That's how we get our name out there.
we are literally in the back. We're like stealth mode. It's just underneath the radar for everyone.
Yeah.
We're the best kept secret. We're that kind of best kept secret. That's the best way I like to describe it. The reality is we've all got really real lives and real jobs and really important other things we do.
Blame JRDF for giving me job work.
Yeah.
I can't. Otherwise I'd stream me painting it, but it's an NDA, so I'm not even allowed to do that. It's like, I could stream this today. I said, no, I can't. No,
do you record you should record yourself painting them, right? You do record them in time lapse them for later.
Some I have, some I haven't, because when you haven't got time to sit there and set the camera up, I've had a lot of issues, but I know I do need to do that.
Dude, you so should.
I'm hoping that when NDA is gone, I can just do it anyway and stream it.
That's right.
Maybe.
Don't forget. The most passionate that don't even play. Thank you, Snake. So, as always, it's like the longest goodbye as we always do. But thank you so much. We really appreciate everyone that turns up every week and watches us and supports us and donates and subscribes and follows. I'm always just touched by, and I love the fact that commenting YouTube channels keep coming and growing. That we're growing really organically as a show. We're not. It's like I said. It's not about thousands of people. It's about just having fun, and I really, really, really appreciate you guys. So, on that note, let's go. I'm just going to go. Thank you for watching. You can hear us choking because I'm going to keep the audio on, so you can hear us just like we started chatting away. Thank you so much for watching.
Really?
Whilst I look for somebody to raid.
Don't speak. Time-lapse painting next time. Yeah.
I'm going to take my clothes off again.
Oh my god, no! Oh my goodness. Ooh, it's like Total Recall.
Why do we have to see this? No.
You like to watch me?
Who should we raid? Who do we raid? Is there anyone I know? I know no one. None of these people.
I know none of these people.
Anyone give me a recommendation in chat if anyone's... Who have we got? Anyone give me a recommendation?
Do a ASMR stream.
Give me a recommendation. Who should we host?
The real Owl.
The new Space Nerd Pickle. He's like new voice pack giving.
Yeah, do Space and then Pickle if you want. Go for it.
Let's do that.
And don't forget, guys, if you missed any of the start of the show, you can go and watch it on YouTube tomorrow.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. It will be up tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Ta-ta.
And goodbye. Bye-bye.